Of the 3,000 names, many of those names really have been treated unfairly.
You know, for all the controversy surrounding the president and his pardons, he's not really pardoned that many people. This, of course, the latest one being the sentence relief that he provided for Alice Marie Johnson this week. She was serving a life sentence over a nonviolent drug charge, and she thanked the president profusely. But are we looking at this the correct way here? Let's get the read from attorney Whitney Boan. Whitney, I was surprised to see, as we look at this point in respected presidencies, that the president is actually pretty low on the totem pole when it comes to pardons. He's had 5, but some presidents have far more, like Bush Sr. at this point in his presidency, or Ronald Reagan before that, or Jimmy Carter, or even Gerald Ford. Now, I know some of his recent compatriots, not so much, but they did make up for lost time in total pardons as their presidencies ensued. So why does this president get the attention he does?
Well, I think that there's 2 separate issues here. First, it's whether or not he's abusing the power in terms of the number of pardons he's issuing, or if he's commuting sentences in a disproportionate manner. That's a separate issue than whether or not people disagree with the substance of maybe why he's pardoning people, or the people who he's choosing to pardon, in terms of, obviously there's been a lot of controversy, less so about Alice Johnson, but about the sheriff from Arizona, in terms of his flouncing in the face of the judicial system and disregarding a court order. So I don't think it's odd in terms of the number.
Though, about Mark Rich. Remember that famous pardon with Bill Clinton and all? So you're right. I mean, depending on the time and place, they can raise eyebrows. And normally, a lot of this is bunched up, oftentimes, not all the time, near the end of a presidency than the beginning. Right. But the president has already indicated this unique power that he has. He'd like to address thousands of potential cases. He even included Muhammad Ali. But, of course, his family and legal associates reminded him that the Supreme Court itself exonerated him. But what do you make of that?
Right. Well, what I make of it is this. We're at a day and time where everything our president does is being scrutinized. Prior presidents since Bill Clinton, basically since his administration, and then through GW's and Obama's, they have slowed their pace in terms of they wait, like you said, until later in the presidency to start making these pardons because they're kind of comfortably within their term. We're only 504 days in here. And so you combine those factors, and yes, it seems like maybe this is a lot, but it's really not. It's more concerning, like you said, though, if he's talking about pardoning thousands of people. I don't have any issue with it as a criminal defense attorney, because I actually have some names, and President Trump, if you're watching, you can call me and I'll give you some more to add to that list of clients of mine who I would like to see receive presidential pardons. And certainly there's a lot of people that have been treated unfairly. I think it's just scary to people, and maybe rightfully so, and maybe we just pay attention to the fact that he has this newfound power and he's like a kid in a candy shop, and we don't want it to be that we're just throwing around pardons because we can. We want it to have meaning, we want it to have significance, and we want it to be fair.
In this latest case of this woman who was in jail for so long on a drug charge, do you think that was a justifiable release commutation, I guess?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But where I am with it is, if we're going to have thousands of people who are pardoned, and her sentence was commuted. She wasn't given a full pardon. The difference is her sentence was mitigated and it was shortened. She's not a convicted felon at this point. She's still a convicted felon. A pardon is a whole other thing. You don't even have to be convicted of a crime to receive a pardon. A pardon basically gives you immunity from any further punishment as a result of a presidential pardon.
As a result of that.
Yes. Yes, I would love to see people like Alice Johnson or people in her position receive pardons or commutations of their sentence. But if it's going to be other things, again, we'll see how it plays out. But it's concerning.
Yeah, if we've started something here. Whitney Boan, have a great weekend. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Neil. You too.
Remember.